Boys got to get this money, man.
So where you're still at work?
No, I'm at Davis now.
Oh. Wait, but your work is far from Davis, isn't it?
Hmm?
Or is that where you're staying now?
Yeah. I'm staying here right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. Did I miss the whole thing?
Miss the whole thing. Yeah, you are the whole thing. What are you
Really?
talking about?
Oh wow. Wow. So you just been here by yourself and then you're waiting on me?
Yes, nigga, what you think?
Oh wow. Shit, man. I'm sorry, bros. I would have been here earlier, but that's under small business.
No sweat, guys. Always handle your shit. That's what that matters. How you doing now? What's going on?
Man, I'm good, bros. I'm trying to figure out how to get this money, man. Trying to figure out how to get this money so then we can flip it, make some more money, buy businesses, do what we got to do. That's it. Because I'm not working for somebody forever. Fuck that shit. Fuck it.
Tell me about it, guy.
But yeah, man.
I'll officially. We're live now, by the way, just so you know.
All right. We're live on YouTube too.
Yeah, YouTube. That's what we're live. Ah, boy.
Brother.
Better late than never. Let's start.
Come on.
Let's start this shit. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Notable Talk. And it's your boy, Corey, Instagram guy. You know me as Otumba.
I beg, dude. Rewind. Do it again.
Which part?
But you guys elongate it. Elongate it more.
Otumba. It reminds me of Poundo and Ogbono.
Ah man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how many times a week? You know how many times a week I contemplate getting Pando and Ogbono?
Yeah, you can just make that shit, man.
I mean, I know I can just make it, but man, I don't know. They're just, huh?
You know what's Ogbono eating it. Tell Alright to make Ogbono for you.
You know what? That's true. She's watching this thing. She'll see it. I'm requesting now. So until let's get it popping. Let's get it popping.
She'll give you her charge.
That's fine. Whatever the charge is, I'm ready. Because at the end of the day, somebody else would have given me charge, right? I would have paid that charge. So if Antiore is making it, I know it's being made with love. So therefore, there's, you know what I'm saying?
Because I know someone else was saying that if he's going to be giving anybody his her money, he'd rather it be like family or like his people.
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself. Whatever you want to say. Just so people know.
Good evening, people. My name is Aya, also known as on Instagram as Oga _ Let me introduce you guys to somebody. Israel, say hi.
I expected it to pick up Dexter.
Israel, say hi now.
Yo, isn't that like David's? Isn't that David's?
Yes, this is David's nephew.
Oh, look at
we are live, Israel. We're live, man. You're gonna be a star, my guy. You're just kicking feet. When I came in today, this guy was just here walking around as if he owns the place, as if he's just paying bills.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, man. You're supposed to own the place.
Go ahead, continue paying bills, my guy. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man. Come on. So how are we gonna change the world, bro? That's
How are
what
we
I
going
want
to
to know,
change the
man.
world? Oh, we're kicking it. Oh, okay. How are we going to change the world? You know
Yeah,
what's
man.
funny? As big as that question is, guy,
Yeah,
I was thinking about that thing to myself the other day, and I was like, that's a very good question.
yeah,
That's actually a very good question.
yeah, man. Because
That's
at this rate, I don't know. Like sometimes I think of stuff, in my spare time, and I just think of like, okay, if this didn't happen, what could have been another possible outcome of something else, you
what
know?
you mean. Explain.
So like, you know, if we were to talk about like, okay, let's talk about the slave trade, you know. If slave trade never happened, or slave trade didn't get to the point where we were exporting our people outside of Africa, right? How how would life as we know it today be? You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, would America just be,
I don't think
just be full
America
of
will
white
even be
people?
what it is.
Hmm?
I don't even think America will be what it is, man.
Bro,
I feel
and
like
yeah,
Africa would be the superpower. Africa would be.
yes, man. Because I
Um,
think about that. I think about that stuff all the time. It's just like, like, okay, take for example, Akon. Akon is there trying to build a whole city, you know? Like, what if what if instead of now they're trying to build city, what if we are building cities like, you know, back then, but like, technologically advanced cities, you know? Like, look at all the technological advancements that, people of color have brought into the mix. You get what I'm saying? Like,
mm,
what if we kept all that technology for ourselves? Then
mm.
we could have been, superpower number one. Then we would be equivalent to, I guess, I mean, well, if you think about it now, even America itself is not, technologically advanced like that. It's
Mm.
advanced, but it's not all that, you
It's
know?
actually not all that, to be honest. Looking, I feel
Yeah,
like America is like 50% hype, but
yeah.
even when we're just saying about like Africa, they were even saying they were. I was watching this video some time ago.
Hmm.
They were talking about how they were discovering some things in Africa that existed back in the day that
Yeah,
showed that Africa was ahead of its time. Even like just simple buildings, like the buildings Africans were making,
yeah.
like Africans were
Bro,
ahead of the time.
man, people are still trying to figure out how the freaking pyramids were built, dog.
Dude,
Like,
they say it's aliens, man.
I, I'm like, okay, if it's aliens, that cool. Like, because I mean, growing up, I would have loved to have met an alien. Honestly, you just see one alien like this.
Oh boy.
But no, seriously, like, when I think of stuff like that, is it's fascinating because it's just like, you know, the pyramids are there. The pyramids are hundreds of thousands of years old, right? You know, like those pyramids
100%.
are older than some of the cities in the United States, you know? So it's kind of just like, okay, if it was really built by aliens, like, why did they not leave? Like, why did they not leave this knowledge with us? What was the point of them coming here, building this monolith of an object, and then being like, okay, I'll see you guys in a couple millennia. We'll be back, Sean.
I don't even think it's aliens. I was just saying speculation.
Hmm?
Because I was saying I didn't even think it's aliens. I was just saying what I've heard. I
I
think
mean,
it's
yeah.
human being.
I mean, I think it's human ingenuity as well, but
Yeah.
it's just like, but nobody can pinpoint the kind of human ingenuity that went into creating the pyramids.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? It's like they've thought about, okay, they must have built the base and then, carried these huge stones up a slope
Huge.
to
So,
now I'm just like, bro, how did you carry a 3-ton stone?
Huge stones, yeah,
Like
huge.
even if you had rollers, what what were Egyptians feeding their people at that time? Because it was no rice, so it was no rice and stew. Because if it was rice and stew,
Fondue.
me too, I would just be carrying car anyhow like this. But I'm not. So, well,
Yeah.
nah, that I mean, like stuff like that is definitely fascinating, and it's definitely something to think about because it's just like, yo, how is this really done? You know?
I think what it is that even saying it today, I think knowledge just slowly became a commodity.
Yeah.
So it was more curved from the general public. Well, I mean that partly that is also from like social class and all of that, but
Yeah.
for the most part, it was more like curved from the general public. So you even see
Yeah.
now where knowledge becomes more sold, and then there's the people that have the knowledge, and then they kind of dictate how that knowledge is dispersed, and then
Yeah.
there's the common people under that just kind of reap the benefits. I mean, I was even thinking of technology now. I was
Hmm.
like, we think we've gone far, but there's people that have invented and done things that we haven't
Okay.
even heard about, but they're choosing when to
Hmm.
like disperse
When
it.
to periodically like
Yes,
say, okay, I'm gonna let you guys in on this now. You
yes,
know?
and
Okay, so
mostly for profit.
okay, for example, have you seen that movie on Netflix? The guy from Snowfall?
Yeah,
What's his name again?
I've seen dope ass cover. I've not watched the movie.
Yeah.
The guy,
So
like the other guy that has like some machine on.
okay, yeah, cause it's just like, okay, stuff like that. That's so it's like, okay, something like that. There has to be some kind of reality for somebody to sit there and think of a script to write a movie, to now say, okay, there was a classified piece of
Yes.
technology for
Yeah.
them to now say they're building a synthetic human that like is just metal and wires and stuff. Like, bro, like, so you're telling me that somebody just woke up one morning and say, oh, I'm on AI technology, this guy is gonna look like this, da, 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 da. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, definitely not.
I
Like,
actually think so.
because, man, at the end of the day, like, I'm a firm believer that uh there's gotta be some kind of like reality to there's gotta be some kind of reality to the things that that we see today. You
Mm,
get what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because I personally don't think that there's no way somebody's just waking up one morning and thinking of all this stuff on the
Uh,
on the dome.
you know what? That's even so far. Think about something as simple as the iPhone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking the other day. There is no way they bring out the iPhone 7 and then
Yeah,
Apple's like, all right, engineers, back to the drawing board. In 2 years, I'll bring out the iPhone 8. No, 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 no. Apple has probably been out for like 4 years. They're
man.
they're I mean, even someone that's okay, this guy on Twitter,
Mhm.
I can't goes he predominantly uses Twitter account. Is the
Mhm.
one technology guy, Marquis something something something.
Oh,
Uh,
Marquise Brown or something like that.
Marquis Brown, yeah, yeah, that
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah. Hmm.
I was watching a video of him on Joe Rogan, and he was talking about some phones he has and how he obviously has like some prototypes that haven't come out yet, but they're still tested to give it to him to like see how it is. And I was like,
Yeah,
it was him that has it like 2 years ahead of everybody else. Now they probably had it like years before.
yeah,
So I was like, some if that can apply to something as similar as the iPhone. Now imagine we went to the moon how many years ago?
man. even the moon self is still skeptical small, but we went there.
We went there. I
know,
followed the SpaceX Instagram page. I was looking at the picture. I was like, people did this, man, and we're still struggling with gas is now $2 something.
bro. I don't, man, bro. The fact that we're talking about this topic and then you just brought up gas. Now I'm thinking, like why? Why is gas? Why is gas $2? For what? Like they're purposely keeping us out of the loop to keep us, I guess, engaged to now study and then now, you know, like incrementally just pull out small things here and there. Okay, now they're coming out with hydrogen cars, electric cars. Okay, next thing you know, they will say, okay, we got cars that just work on water.
Even that isn't even hard. I mean, if we can have a vehicle that can go underwater as a submarine, and we have that can go underwater as boats.
James Bond.
And James Bond isn't that far fetched. He's not.
Yeah.
Even ordinary jet skis, as common as those are. Think about how even that could easily become a major. I mean, I guess. Okay, you know what? Let me ask you this: do you think flying cars would ever be like a major mode of transportation?
I do.
You do?
I don't think that they're going to mass produce, but bro, there are prototypes of flying cars from like the 60s. Like people have been working on this. Now the look, the design, okay, can change to now, conform to what society could deem, okay, this is a cool flying car, But at the same time, it's just like, bro, you're right. There are engineers out there who probably have, some prototype of some flying car that Tesla is about to launch in like the next 14, 15 years or 20 years or whatever.
He was even trying to build like underground roadways.
Yeah, the borehole company. Yeah, man. Like whenever I think of technology and the advancements that we could make, okay, so let me tell you one time I think it was in 6th grade. I was like 12 years old. And then I was thinking about time travel, right? So this is when we were living back in Austell. So I was thinking about trying time travel. So I now thought of this idea. I was legit sitting in my room. I thought of this idea. I said, okay, if time travel is real, I should be able to etch a message in the tree in my front yard, and my future self should be able to see that message and come back and I should win the lottery. That was my thought process. But the thing behind it was the fact that I thought that, okay, if I could leave a message for myself in the near future to say, hey, when you get to this point, come back and see me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, time travel is not something that I understand. It's not something that.
I don't think of time travel. I feel like, because I think it's possible, but I also like where I just don't think it's. I'm trying to pick my words. I'm trying to pick my words. I think it's possible. I just don't think it's possible for us at the state at which we are now.
I definitely agree with you.
Because I think it hinges directly on what we are naturally able to perceive. Keyword naturally.
Yeah.
Because technically we kind of travel through time, but we perceive it as our understanding of time, which is past, present, future.
Yeah.
And but and that just hinged on our perception. And another being in another state would perceive time differently.
Yep.
And will be able to navigate those structures differently.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw this nice analogy of like an ant on a piece of paper, and an ant is observing. Even an ant is like a three-dimensional being, but an ant is on a piece of paper and observing it on a two-dimensional plane. And if I have a piece of paper under that piece of paper, the ant cannot perceive the piece of paper under that piece of paper, but I can because my perception is different.
Because it's there.
Yeah.
We may be living somewhere and not know that, okay, inside of this slit of space right here is like a whole different dimension. Like I can have 4 dimensions in front of me right now.
Facts. It's almost like a very simple example is the fact that dogs can hear frequencies we can't hear.
Yeah.
That in itself is a marvel alone.
Yeah.
And the fact that even us humans, some of us can hear some frequencies others can't hear.
Mm-hmm.
And even that some
see things
generates
that others can't see.
Age. Yeah. I don't know. I think that's one of the things that just makes me expectant of whatever the end is, because I'm like, whatever the end is not okay. The end, happily ever after, is the end, and then there's another chapter. Because then, then we're not going to be in another state of being, perceiving in a different way. Now that this space, we're trying to wrap around space, and we're like, but why is there space? Why are there universe? Why are there different solar systems? Why are there different planets? What's happening? Why is Earth this small thing that we're all just on Earth now? What's happening? But I feel like it takes a set level of perception to really grasp what is, because an ant is looking at the paper and is like, oh, this is just a white piece of paper that is flat. But to me, I'm like, oh, this is a white piece of paper and there's a white piece of paper underneath, and then that piece of paper is in another space. But if the ant was analyzing that piece of paper, he would be able to analyze it to the extent of his own perception, as opposed to me.
Man. Because like it's crazy that you say that, because at the end of the day, it's just like I would say I lost my words, but like it's just like, okay, there are things that there are things that I know. Now the knowledge that we have can be different, it can be the same, but it's how we apply that. It's how we apply the knowledge that we have. Like you said, if you see a pool and you don't know that, okay, so have you ever seen like one of those videos where you see people like walking on the pool and stuff like that? It's like it's an illusion, right?
Yeah, like they have some kind of like
exactly. They have like some platform underneath or whatever. It's just like, okay, me and you go to the pool, right? I know that there's a platform on this side of the pool. You don't know that there's a platform on this side of the pool. All you know is that we're going to the pool. We both enter pool. But instead of us like entering inside the water, you enter inside the water, I'm still on top. Why? Because of the perception that I have of the knowledge that, this platform is right here. So I don't have to get inside the water. I just can walk across, So I definitely agree with you, because it's definitely a way of like how you see things and how you think about things that gets you to that point of being able to perceive something differently, Because there are some people that cannot fathom the fact that time travel could be real. You talk about time travel to some people and be like, okay, continue your time travel. I go see you. I go see you next year. You know.
Right.
But that stuff is dope, man.
And it's funny because it, it's me. Anytime I'm talking, because of who I am, I just find a way to go back to God, because that's just how you see perception changes. It changes your out, because when you start to see things in a certain way, then it affects you to your core. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Even the way you live life, you start to not live life as per whatever is on earth is the be all.
Yeah.
But it's a chapter in a grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
So which will even influence like me yielding to certain self-gratifying things that may have a very strong effect on the grand scheme of things, or just my outlook on life in general. But perception, that shit is important. That alone has even helped me kind of understand people better, because I always go back to what judges a perception. Even when I have conversations with people based on regular life things like family or relationships or even men. I hear women say things about men. And especially, I mean, not when they say men are scum, but just when they talk in that manner and they use specific examples that men do this, men do that, all men are this and that. Part of me wants to be like, nah, that's not, but I'm like, okay, it's all right. I mean, that's based on your perception. That's based on your perception.
Based on your perception, your experiences, your other encounters with other human beings, like all of that definitely comes to play in, experiencing like this thing that we call life. It's like, okay, like you said, you go back to God and it's just like, okay, okay, I'll put myself for example, it's not for me. For me, it's not that like, I don't know, like I feel like when it comes to like Christianity, and my perception about Christianity, it's more so of like, okay, do you believe in God? Yeah, I believe in God. Now, do you feel like some of the things that other Christians do, like, okay, for example, I know a lot of, prayerful Christians, and that's cool. That's fine. I don't want to be a prayer warrior. I don't have any intentions of being a prayer warrior. But at the same time, the rapport that I have with God should not be diminished because I'm not a prayer warrior. You get what I'm saying? It's like, you can't sit there and tell somebody that, oh, they're doing it wrong because they're not doing it in the perception that you have. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, I'm not gonna sit there and pray for 2 hours. I'm just not. I'm sorry. Like, God knows where my heart is at. Me and God have conversations. Like, my man's be speaking to me. So, it's kind of just like, I flow in the way that I flow because I have that understanding and I have that rapport with the man upstairs, because I see things and I see what I don't. I see what I do not feel that I need. Well, let me not say do not feel like I need to do, but it's like, I feel like I could do it in a more effective way that works for me and still have my relationship with God. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's about perception, because at the end of the day, like, us being Nigerian, You know, we grew up in prayerful households, like
Prayerful households.
prayerful households. You know, you don't just wake up in the morning and then just start your day. Oh boy, come here. We are praise and worship. Let's get it. Let's get it popping, man. You know, but I just at the end of the day, it's kind of just like for me, you know, I know that I have a rapport with God, you know, and I know that I have that understanding of what it means to like have faith, you know. And I feel like some people kind of lose sight about the faith part, you know, and it's just all about, oh, I need to pray, I need to pray, I need to pray. But it's kind of just like, okay, so are you praying because you have faith and then you're gonna actually go out and do the work, or are you just praying because you've just been praying all your life?
Mm.
You know?
Mm. You know, it's funny you say that because recently I've been my percept. I want to well more recently, but
Yeah.
in life, I
Mm-hmm.
felt like I stepped into a very, very interesting chapter of life within the past just over a year.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of spans back to that, but I feel like I got into another extra gear in just over
Mm-hmm.
a year. And even more recently, and in just over a year, I've just been, my perception has changed in so many ways because I've just been discovering certain things that have just shone lights for me
Mm-hmm.
on so many aspects of life, from people to
Mm-hmm.
interaction between people to God to just everything. And just
Yeah.
recently, I was thinking about how even from reading the Bible, you hear you see God say certain things in the Bible and
Mm-hmm.
become more common to us. Something we just say, I'm just supposed to like, but it began to show itself in a new light to me because you read the Bible and you just see that everything kind of gravitates towards, even though fellowship is important, fellowship between people, between Christian and all
Mm-hmm.
that, but the definition of your faith should definitely not be hinged on people,
Hey,
but
bro, man, I beg, say that one again. Say it again. Say it again.
the definition of your faith should definitely not be hinged on people. Like even
Yes.
where do I want to start? Something that's okay. Let me even start from here.
Yeah.
God said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am the way," and He
Mm-hmm.
said, "Me, I am the way." He goes on to say, "For God's love the world that He gives, that whoever believes in Me." He goes on
Mm-hmm.
to say that that even encounters between people now. I'm examples like Saul on the way to Damascus. Saul was a persecutor of Christians. As far he's living, what is he for a living was that he killed Christians.
Yeah.
And his encounter with God wasn't from somebody preaching to him, or wasn't from people trying to convince
Mm-hmm.
him that God existed, but was that he
Yeah.
encountered God on his own.
On his own.
And
Man.
then even Samuel, when Samuel was a boy, and
Mm-hmm.
he was in the house with Eli, and he heard God's voice. Eli didn't hear God's voice. He heard God's voice.
Yeah.
Everything was pointed to that your 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 definition of your faith should be human. Even you pursuing somebody that you're like, okay, this person seems like a good Christian that has a good grasp of
Mm-hmm.
what this faith is. At the end of the day, your criteria for that should be that that person is also saying to you, "It's God." Is like you're coming to the person, but the person is like,
Yeah.
this is what you should be looking at. Not even me. The person might be an encouragement to you, but the person
Mm-hmm.
should also be like, okay, what you should be looking at is not me, but it should be God, because humans, last, they're trash. And
Yeah.
last,
Because, bro,
yeah,
I'm sorry to cut you off, but like I'm
bro.
on the fact that you said that, the fact that you said that is like, it's so weird because I have like growing up, I have just always felt like I just always felt like I was kind of the only person in the world that really understood that, because it was just like, you see like, okay, you see the church, you see fellowship, you see people wanting to, you know like be around like-minded people, and like just be around, the people that, oh, children of God, I want to be in the
Mm.
house of God. Da, da, da. By the end of the day, like, what I like, okay, if your church shut down tomorrow, guess what? God is still there.
He's still there. Yeah.
If all the people in the church, God, excuse my language, but if all the people in the church said, man, fuck you, get out of my church, guess what?
Mm.
God is still there.
Mm.
So I've never I've never fully understood the idea behind people wanting to be accepted by other people because of God. Because like
Mm.
even that sentence itself doesn't really make sense. You get what I'm saying?
And then even people feeling that they have attained a sense of position where they can even determine if this person is acceptable.
Ah, man, that shit gets on my nerves, man. Like,
Yeah.
seriously.
It's not that like they have been granted this power that they can then say that no, you are too dirty, you are too filthy, or you're not enough,
Yeah,
or
yeah. You are
and
not
then and then
you are not
and then not the lack
qualified.
of, and
Like,
then they start to then hinge fit on very trivial baby things like um what's your even though I believe that even if you are the mind of Christ, your life wouldn't be as normal, like even something as simple as dressing.
yeah.
Influence you get. But for some people to be like, nah, because you dress a certain way, then you're too filled up because you have a certain disposition, whether sexually or anything.
Hmm.
I'm just like, isn't the church supposed to be like a hospital where it's not for people that are well? Even you being
Exactly.
there, you're supposed to acknowledge that I'm sick too.
Yeah.
I need I need
I
help.
need help. Like,
Yeah.
help is what I need, guidance. Because at the end of
Mm.
the day, if you really think about it, if you put church into the context of a hospital, when you go to the hospital, you go to the hospital because one, something is wrong and you need help to fix it, right?
Or you go
So
for regular checkups to maintain your health. Ooh,
exactly. Or you
ooh,
want to
ooh,
maintain your
ooh,
health,
ooh.
right? You
I'm
know,
assuming to
it's
that.
bro, I'm telling you, because I
Hmm,
like you just said, now you go there to maintain your health, right? Because
hmm,
okay, you have Wednesday service, you have Sunday service, some people have Tuesday service, I don't know.
hmm.
Whatever, however your church does what they do, you know, you're going there to maintain a level of, I don't know. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but you're going there to maintain a
I
level
see
of
that's
health,
truth. I see that's truth. You go there to maintain a level of truth.
truth.
Because even the Bible says that they that worship me in spirit and in truth. Like
Yeah.
the fact that you truthfully say to yourself that, okay, I want to know God for who He is. Truthfully,
Hmm.
I want to. I'm subjecting myself to really. I'm okay. I'm opening up my heart. That's what it is. I'm opening up
Yeah.
my heart. I'm giving that thing access to really show me what it is,
Hmm.
and knowing that that truth is strong enough that once you give it that access, it will show you will know what it is. You will know
Because
what
and
it
then
is.
at that point, that's where faith comes in,
Mm,
because it's like once you opened yourself, once you've opened your heart, and you like, okay, God, I'm ready to do what it do. Like, let's do the thing. It's
mm,
like, okay, once you get that acceptance and you understand the rapport that you have with God, and hear me when I say you as an individual, you as a person, you're not going there to be a part of the collective congregation of the church. You're going there for you to maintain your health. But you have to have faith that, no matter how bad things get, no matter where life throws you, no matter what obstacles are thrown in your face or put on your plate, at the end of the day, you still gonna look up to God and be like, I still get open heart to maybe do our move, you know? So I do feel like a lot of people lose the sight of faith. You get, like, faith is so important. And like you said, being true to yourself and being true, you know, about the willingness to want to know God, like that, like all that stuff is important. And sometimes I just feel like people just they go church because they won't go church, and
It's
just
more
for
of a,
going church taking.
it's more of a religious routine now.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Cause like, okay, let me ask you. So like growing up, growing up, I felt like, like especially, when I started working, and like, being more busy and stuff, my mom used to feel some type of way because she would be like, "Yeah, not coming to church on Sunday." I said, "No, I have to work," you know?
Mm.
And like she would get real life upset. And I never used to understand because it was just like, yo, like I don't get it. Why are you so mad? You know? And like I don't know. I can't even really say that I understand it now, but I
Mm.
feel like I have a better understanding now than I did before, you
Mm.
know? But it just stems back to the whole idea of, if I went to church, I'm going there for God. If I didn't go to church, I'm still wake up and, live my life.
Mm.
And I'm gonna be living my life in accordance to, how where my relationship with God is. You get what I'm saying?
You know what I think it is? I think,
Hmm.
for the most part, it's a lot of people have changed their stance with God based on how faithful they are with routine. Man,
Hmm.
it should be the level my routine is supposed to be burst by a natural affection of how you feel.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're dating someone and you judge. No, don't even go to dating. But that, well, it applies to God. Something as simple as fatherhood. You're judging your ability to be a good father because you provide food and provide shelter and you take your children out and you take your children to buy whatever they want to buy. So you're
Hmm.
judging your success in that sphere based on the routine that you uphold.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, fatherhood is much more than that. And those things should actually
Way much
be a
more than
reflection
that.
of how of a natural affection you feel for them.
Yeah.
So even though, yes, church is definitely important to go to church, but I feel like a lot of people hinge the adherence to that routine to
Hmm.
their actual stance. Meanwhile, and at the end of the day, this is the part that pains me because
Hmm.
the fact that they have that understanding hinders them
Hmm.
from really teaching people that are coming up the truth and what it is. And those people then have a certain perception and then they naturally tend to rebel against things they don't understand. And then that
Hmm.
creates a cascading effect to the people that are also coming up because those people they're not telling the people what should they should tell them. Yet,
Yeah.
church should be church shouldn't be I'm going to church because it's Sunday, but it should be I'm going to church because I'm going to fellowship with my people that love the Lord like I do. And
Yeah.
I'm going not to be in everybody to just be in that arena, being parted and just be in that just because church. I like church, but
Yeah.
that's why not every church can be for me because then I have to find that church that I'm like, okay,
Man, okay.
this
You just touched on another topic, my guy. You just touched on another fucking topic, dude. Because like, okay, so how do you feel? So let me ask you. So like, how do you feel about how do you feel about like when you just said now, not every church can be for you, but it's like at the end of the day, you have to know yourself, or at least you have to know that you want to do something. My friend is coming to see me. Israel, come now.
Israel. I'm still laughing at the fact that I expected you to pick up Dexter and it was Israel. Man, guy, are you looking forward to having kids?
Huh?
Are you looking forward to having kids?
Oh, bruh, I can't wait, man. I mean, I can, but I can't.
Yeah, I was about to say, I can't wait, too.
Because, like, okay, when you were talking about fatherhood, like for me, like fatherhood means so much, like if if me and Christina were to get pregnant tomorrow and know that we're expecting a child, the amount of joy that I have now from just the thought of that, bro, like imagine if that shit was gonna be physical. Like fatherhood is something that I can't wait to have and I can't wait to go through, because
I see myself looking at, especially my pressure, I see myself looking at him or her and just crying. Like I'll not be looking at you playing, just be in tears.
Man.
That's gonna be, I already know.
Because it's just like it's an extension of yourself, And I know that, like, some people will see this and be like, oh, because you never born Peking, you know no yet, right? And that's cool. That's cool. Let me get there first, and then let me have my realization. But until then, I really do have this perception of fatherhood, and it's just like you said, fatherhood is not about the materialistic shit that I can do for my kids. It's about the shit that I can actually teach them. It's about being able to be there for them. It's about, for me personally, it's about making sure that, like, my child knows that when they look at me, whatever it is that they need, whether they need to talk about something, whether they need me at a football game, a soccer game, a recital, whatever the fuck it is, I'm gonna be there. Like that's the shit that I cannot wait for. I can't wait for my kid to be coming to me and talking about something. Oh, daddy, I have this thing that I have to do on Friday. Okay, let's do it. What do you need? Like I can't wait for that shit. Like that's the shit that I look forward to, and like being able to just spend time with them and teach them things. Like this is the like you're. I want to equip you as well as I possibly can to deal with the world that's.
You get?
You know what fear, not really what fear. One watchword for me is that one thing I don't want is.
Hold on, I think my AirPod just died.
Oh yeah, because you're
okay.
Hey, Gates is watching online, but one watchword for me, especially with fatherhood, just me. Whenever I think of fatherhood, and whenever I look at my relationship with my father, which first of all I'm just blessed. I'm very lucky because then I see a lot of examples out there. I'm just like, oh, God, thank you, because I'm very lucky. But just looking at my relationship with my father and looking at other good relationships of fatherhood out there, and the bad ones and the not so okay ones. One watchword is that I would hate for any of my children to not feel like they have unbridled access to me.
Man, bro.
The fact that they can think of guardians like some kind of way coming or having access, bruh.
No, like when I tell you can talk to me about anything, I want you to understand 100%. If my son comes to me and said, Daddy, I'm feeling something, my prick is rising, this one, that one, blah blah blah. Tell me. Like we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about it because at the end of the day, I was there, and it's funny that those words come out of our mouths because our fathers would tell us, I was there,
I'm gonna give you an example. This example at that time, it was just a regular. It was just something that happened. But me thinking back now, I could tell that that's one thing that changed or had a very great impact on my life regarding fatherhood of my father. One example was one day I had a question for my father. I was like, Daddy, I need to explain something I'm seeing on my break. And then he was like, okay. God changed into a towel and come to my room. And I did. And I went to his room and he told my mom and my sister to leave. He closed the door. And then he told me to remove my towel. I brought my towel. And both of us sat down. We're looking at it like this. So they're explaining shit to me. We're explaining how this may look this way and this may look this way. And how everybody else was like, mine doesn't look this way because everybody's different. But like everybody's stuff. And we just had a very frank conversation. It was very normal to him back then. And then he finished out like, well, like, what do you know? I was like, yeah. And then we had a lot of conversation that we bobbing around prick.
Yeah.
And then and then I was like, okay, thank you. And I took my towel and I went back. That's I changed. I continued my life.
Yeah.
And
because
back now, I was like,
bro, if you don't have a conversation like that with your father, who are you supposed to have that conversation with?
That's facts. That's facts. Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, it's one thing to have like a best friend that you can talk to, that you can feel comfortable saying things to, but then at the same time, there are some intimate ass conversations that you can only feel comfortable with having or navigating through some topic with your parent.
Yeah.
So like that's for me, that's how I look at it, Like I mean shit. I'm gonna be a dad one day. So I got to be ready for all the questions.
You know what I think it is? I think a lot of people overestimate their influence, so they don't strive to make each influence they have quality. Because I was thinking about it the other day, I was like, a child is hardly raised in the house. They're raised in school, friend's house, church, everywhere outside, grocery store, wherever they go, they're in the house relatively for the shortest period of their life.
Yeah.
In comparison to everywhere else they are. And people just think that all those other things don't exist. And so they don't, because me thinking about that, I'm like, any opportunity I have with my child, whether any conversation, we're in the same space, like I'm striving to make that thing as quality as possible.
Man.
Not even wasting, like the fear that like you're wasting, like, wasting it on,
Yeah, bro, because it's like, okay, like you just said, quality is like the phrase quality time with family means a lot to me because I know how I want to structure my family. You get what I'm saying? It's like when me and Christina get married, and then we start getting into the realm of like having kids and stuff like that. Like there are things that I know that I want to do. And there are conversations that I'm gonna have with my kids, like financial literacy. Oh boy, when my child gets into middle school, like we're going to start that conversation because I need them to understand the value of a dollar. I need them to understand how they can leverage credit.
Bruh.
Like I need them to understand that daddy has like 16 shelf corporations that you can pick from and do whatever with because I'm going to help you navigate that shit. Like all that stuff and making sure, okay, my son understands how to treat women. My son understands, okay, daddy, how do you talk to girls? You know, da, 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 da. I'll be like, well, you know, that's why my Instagram name back in the day was Oga Juice, you know. But no, but seriously, but for real, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, you know, daddy, how you talk to girls, da da da, you know, like you gotta know how to do all that, and it's just like I feel like a lot of people when they have kids, you know, is like the quality of the time that they spend with their child isn't, what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't reflect their true ability,
Mm.
to, I wouldn't say love the child, but like I would say help navigate the child. Now that's the word I'm gonna go with. So
Yeah.
like, the phrase I'm gonna go with, like help navigate the child into, like into being a person that you're gonna be proud of.
Mm.
Because by no means am I asking any of my children to be exactly like me. Actually, don't. You
Mm.
know, nah, don't be exactly like your daddy because you don't need to.
Yeah.
I've made mistakes. I've done dumb shit. I've done stupid shit. I've done great shit. I've done, just shit all around. But at the same time, it's just like, yo, I know the mistakes that I've made. I know the good things that I've done. I know the bad things that I've done.
Mm.
So now, how am I going to help my child navigate these waters of life?
Mm.
Because honestly, that's like my whole philosophy. Like when I have children, it's all navigation because at the end of the day, I did this before they did,
Yeah.
you know?
I think that's even the fine line of what portrays you as somebody who has gone through this shit and is trying to make it easier on them, and somebody
Hmm.
who is just like a party pooper.
Yeah.
Technically, both identities can function the same way, but the
Yeah.
intention is different. Because it
Hmm.
takes a lot for me to look at you as okay, if he's been hard on me, he's been hard on me because he knows certain things I don't know that I can't see based on my experience.
Yeah.
As opposed to he just being a hitter, he just doesn't want me to enjoy my life. It
Yeah.
doesn't.
And I mean like, okay, that shit happens, you know? Like we've all been children. We've all gotten in trouble and felt like, okay, mommy and daddy just don't want me to enjoy my life. Oh, mom, I want to go to this party this weekend. Da, da, da. You know, no, why are you going to some party? Da, 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 all this nonsense. And
Mm,
it's just like you get mad because it's like, well, damn, these people are not letting me live my life. Like
mm,
I'm 16 years old, I should be able to, do some of this thing. Like, but I have a better understanding of it now than I did then because then I just used to be upset, I'd
yeah.
be like, man, fuck these people. They just don't want me to live my life. Da, 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 da. But now it's kind of just like, I have a brother and I have a sister, Daniel. Daniel is about to be, Daniel is 15. He's going to be 16 next year.
Bro,
So,
that
yeah, like
his voice is deep as. I think it sounds like
it's not, bro. It's
what's yeah,
not.
it's looking
Daniel's voice not deep. I beg. If he sees this video now, he just be walking around the house. Yeah, man, you don't get out of my face, man. But no, for real, because it's just like you know, you. I don't know. Like for me, I always take Gabby and Daniel like as my kids because those are those are those are my kids, man. Like my brother and sister, those are my babies because
Mm,
I was there, you know. I
mm,
was there. I helped raise them guys. And it's just like, at the end of the day, I just know I just know the way I want to navigate and help my child. I don't want to, that's the word I'm looking for. I don't want to feel like I'm just giving them everything. You get what I'm saying?
mm,
I definitely want them to work for I want them to work hard. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I want my kids to work hard, but at the same time, I want you to work smart. There's been like, I've wasted years trying to understand things and trying to get to certain places and trying to do certain things. And it's just like, had I known then what I know now, yeah, I'd be better off.
Yeah.
But it's a part of life. And what I want to do is that I want to give them those stepping stones to get there. But once I have laid that foundation and given them at least like 1 or 2 steps, all right, you need to go do your research. I'm here if you need me, but you need to go do your research.
I mean, you are still a great resource for them to have.
Yeah, because I'm gonna know the stuff that I know, and if I see them making a wrong turn, or I see them doing something that they could possibly be doing a little bit better, depending on how my child is and their personality, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, doing that wrong. I might just step back and watch how they're gonna handle it. Because at the end of the day, again, I'm not here to hold your hand. Like, I love you, but I'm not here to hold your hand. Like, nobody was holding my own hand. You're not gonna get your hand held. I'm sorry. I'm really not. But it is what it is.
You know what's funny? I was watching someone's story the other day, and honestly, if my wife is the kind of person that's going to be like, if my wife's the kind of person that's going to be very protective of our children, I'm going to be like, or if they're climbing this, no, don't do, you fall. I feel bad for her because I'm going to give her heart attack 20 times.
Yeah.
I was watching this video of this lady recording her baby, and he was on the kitchen island. He was holding onto the kitchen counter, and he pulled himself up. And then, he didn't put himself, he stepped in something to get up. But then, how it is. So you can step on something to get up, but you might not be able to get down.
Down, yeah.
He was stranded. And I was looking at the video and I was like, I would leave you there. At most, I'll put like a pillow under you. So if you fall, you won't like break your head.
Yeah.
But I'll leave you there. You got there, you would at least
you figure it out. Figure it out.
Very small. I might step in. This is a great lesson in itself. Ooh, but I'm like, okay, you tried enough, and I can see that you're not really capable. But let me see what you can do. Try.
Yeah, let me see what you're capable of. Yeah. If I see that, okay, you get you have the understanding that, okay, I'm up here and I need to go down, but I can't just let go, because if I let go, then I'm fucked. Yeah. So if I see you just gently, slowly, okay, hey, you are safe. But yeah, no, I'm because like, man, that whole it's so funny because I feel like the first child, everybody's gonna be like kind of protective over and stuff, but it is hilarious, dog, because when I tell you, my parents did not allow me to work in high school because they were like, you need to focus on school, education, da da da. Daniel has his first job. And I'm not gonna lie, I was slick. Like it's slick peppered my soul, because I was just like, I was like, you people understand what you told me, Abby, but now Daniel can just, okay, that's cool. I'm not tripping. I'm not jealous. I'm jealous small, but I'm not too jealous. I get job, but still the work that I had to do to get here, Yeah. But I'm definitely gonna be like, I feel that I'm definitely gonna be one of those parents that like I want to see what you're capable of. I'm never gonna tell you that you can't do some shit because I didn't do some shit. I mean, shit. You say you want to start. You want to do motocross. Okay, let's see. Let's see what you can do. You know, you say you want to go snowboarding. Me too. I never been snowboarding. Let's go. You know.
I'm definitely not gonna be one of those people that's gonna like overindulge the kids. And
yeah,
you figure some shit out.
yeah,
even when I see you make some certain blunders, I only be like, maybe at a certain age, but I only be like, oh, don't do that. I'm like, nah, nigga, you fucked up.
exactly. You know, and it's like, look, when you fuck up, don't come to your posse because posse will tell you fuck up, because
you know, I'll tell you, but I'll tell you how you can fuck up.
Exactly.
But I will tell you.
I'm you fuck up, but you know, here's what you can do. Here, you know, here's what you can do. You know, try to, you know, clear your steps, you know, and then do something a little different. But other than that, yeah, you messed up, but it is what it is.
It is. Yeah, you said something before that we didn't really touch on. I think because Israel was talking about, but you're talking about, I think we're talking about church. And we're talking about speaking like church boy and all that. I didn't even, you didn't finish your thoughts when you were saying it.
I think I was talking about how what am I talking about? I think I was talking about how, like, oh, that's what it is. That's what it is. Oh, the topic that I wanted to get on was like not allowing people to run their own race to get to like the relationship with God. Because it's like, for me, I feel like when I see, like, from the outside looking in, it's like, you know, I see people who say you're supposed to do steps A, B, and C before God can hear you. But it's just like, I mean, but what if I just decide to do step C and then God's like, I hear you, fam. You know? It's like, if one is not given the opportunity to run their own race and understand for themselves about like, what does a rapport with God really mean to you? Not what does a rapport with God mean to you because of what your parents have been telling you all these years, but what it really means to you as an individual. You know, I feel like a lot of people don't really get that individual, you know, they don't really get that individual aspect of it because they're not given the opportunity to run that race. You get what I'm saying?
You know, yeah.
Lay it on me, brother. Lay it on me. Go ahead. Tell me.
You know what I think? I think that even though there's, I mean, with anything in life, even laws of physics, there's certain principles. Life in itself is directly founded on certain principles. Yes. But when it comes to the things of God, I've found is that those principles are, I was smart on what to say, but I found that those principles are directly ingrained in who he really is. So it's not like it's not like those principles are so separate and try to bring them together to attain a certain goal. But it's almost like those principles are in that goal. So you already identifying that goal and seeking that goal, but the truth it is, those principles show it their usefulness and their truth to you. So it's almost like, for example, when I was younger, my mom would just wake up early in the morning and just pray. And she calls me and put her hand on my head, and then I'm just like, madam, I'm trying to sleep, man. Stop disturbing me.
Yeah, stop disturbing me.
And even though at that time I knew principles, which was, it's important to pray, it's important to read your Bible. Sometimes it's important to draw the little prayer. I can wake up in the middle of the night and it's important. I knew those principles, but those principles were separate from me knowing him. So I couldn't find the connection and the truth. But as I grew up and even further now, I understand. And it's even something I would even tease her with. I'm like, she might call me at like 2 a.m. now. And I'm like, you're not sleeping, you're praying at me. Because I understand those principles.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I found that those principles, although they're important, but you're already dwelling in who he is, they don't
Yeah.
seem like it's a list of rules, a list of steps that you have to follow to
Yeah.
really sing. They just seem as part of the package of really.
Exactly.
Just like you love your babe, you person you want to marry. You hanging out with her wouldn't be, oh, she's not, but I have to hang out with her quality time. You just be, you know what? Let me go and clear my head. Let me rest more. Babe, how far? Let's go out and eat. It's the same
Yeah.
thing, but you're
Same.
looking at it different.
Yeah.
You get. So that's what I'm actually I'm figuring out. I actually figured out that those principles are important, but those go back to what we're saying about perception. Your perception matters. See, when your perception changes,
Yeah.
they cast themselves in a different light to you. Yeah, I'm enjoying the shit. Guy, I don't know about you, but I'm enjoying the shit. I am like, I can't believe it. Mm.
Man, but yeah, cause like is okay. So for me, like I've always known that I'm rebellious. You know, I don't conform to I don't conform to the things that people find, I guess normal, or like if I feel like I can do something and still achieve my goal and just do it the way that I want to do it, then that's what I'm gonna do, you know? And it's like, come on, is my phone not charging? Okay, my phone's
Batteries low.
charging now. Well, not it has, but like it's kind of just like I'm not like okay, with going to church,
Mm.
I am not the kind of person that is opposed to going to church.
Mm.
I I genuinely like going to church. Like I love, praise and worship. I love hearing a good sermon. Like I love all those things about church. Now, what I do not like about church is the fact that if like like okay, if you decide that okay, I'm not going to go to church for the next month. You don't go to church for the next month. You show up the month after, you know, somebody may say, "Oh, did you backslide?" Excuse me. I can't have church in my own house. You know,
Mm.
like for me personally, that's the stuff that I don't like
Mm.
because it's just like one, mind your business because you don't know my rapport that I have with God.
Mm.
Like you can't even comprehend this like the connection that me and God have, you can't even comprehend that shit because at the end of the day, you are a prayer warrior. I'm not. I don't I don't aspire to be one. I don't want to be one. Now, you know, later on down in my life, I may start to pray more than I do now, but let me get there. You get? It's like let me be let me run, let me do the work and let me run the race and let me get to the level of my comfortability with God, you know?
Mm.
And like it all goes back to it, for me, it just goes back to how I feel about like, you know, people just feeling like you have to do God in a certain way,
Mm.
you know?
Mm.
It's like these these like detrimental steps you have to take to understand who God is. As if God cannot, as if you can't be inside underwater with a in fucking scuba gear and God say, "Oh boy, what's up? My name is God. How you doing?"
Mm.
You know? So I don't know, man. Like for me, I don't feel like I need to conform to the rules of, I would say, society and what society deems fit to be, quote unquote, a Christian.
Hmm.
It's like I can wake up Saturday morning, I can clean my room, I can clean my house, and decide to have prayer and worship for 4 hours if I decided to. And I could do that effortlessly because I was feeling it that morning, you know? But then again, it's like, but do you really think that God is going to look at you differently if you woke up Sunday morning and be like, you know what? I'm just not feeling it today. I think I'm just going to chill.
Hmm.
Like, you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. But the thing is, the way I feel about this church thing, yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why I was talking about you finding the right, especially as you get older and as you start to influence your life more directly for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
outside your parents or whoever.
Yeah.
It's important to you to find the right church for you because
For you.
even
Yeah.
even my home church in Nigeria, there's something they always say that I love so
Mm-hmm.
much, especially when they announce for first timers and first timers come out and they welcome them, they give them like
Yeah.
gifts and stuff. But they tell them that if you have a home church, continue to go to that home church. But if you don't, you're welcome to come here. But if you have a home church, stay there. Because
Yeah.
I feel like that is really the make or break for anybody. Because in me thinking of church, me thinking of church
Mm-hmm.
isn't what would get me up
Yeah.
go to church when I don't feel like is more than if I can be in school and I know I have
Mm-hmm.
class at 9 p.m. and I can wake up at 8 and I know I have class at 9 a.m. and I can wake up at 8, I'm like, I'm not feeling it today and go back to sleep. Then what's stopping me from doing that to church?
Mm-hmm.
Because both are routine,
Yeah.
both have a certain level of importance as portrayed, and
Yeah.
I don't feel like going to need it. So I'm just like, I'll be fine, I'll go next week. I could easily
Mm-hmm.
do both. But what keeps me going to church is that, and this tallies with me and the
Yeah.
right fit for your church. For me, the right fit for your church has to be on certain criteria. First of all,
Yeah.
most important, doctrine, the doctrine that they preach, and what
Mm-hmm.
the church believes in, that it has to be sound. And then secondly, assignment, which is the at the end of the day, the goal is
Yeah.
that you are actively participating in church. So you actively feel like this is the place I'm meant to serve.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actively inputting into the things of God. I'm actively inputting into the kingdom of God. Yes, I want to put it. And
Yeah.
then thirdly, that these people actively encourage me to dwell.
Yes.
Because the
Mm-hmm.
church, I've noticed that outside church, maybe if your church holds only on Sundays, outside church, you unconsciously surround yourselves with things of the world per se. And
Yeah.
whether it's going to work, hanging out with friends, or just buying gas, or going to Dollar General, or whatever, or even just staying in your house and going on social media. But
Yeah.
unconsciously, you're just what you're surrounded with on a daily basis is just the world. And that balance has to be counteracted by consciously surrounding yourselves with the things of God and consciously surrounding
Mm-hmm.
yourself with people that encourage you in the things of
Yeah.
God. That's why even when I'm in church and I'm leading like prayers involving the youth, and especially with young people, you see that they pray nowadays and they don't pray out. Like they think they cannot pray in their mind. I'm like, first of all, it's important to pray out for this couple of reasons, but one important thing is when you hear a neighbor praying out, it encourages you to
To
pray
pray.
out. You get
Yeah.
so that is just a minute example of how that encouragement exists when you're just in that atmosphere of people with like mind and people with like agenda, and they're
Mm-hmm.
encouraging you in the things of God. And to me, that's what church is. It's not. That's why church can be held in your house. It can be held under the bridge. you're in the building, on the streets. That's what churches.
Exactly.
Those criteria. I mean, there are other criteria, but those things are very important to me. That when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, I don't feel like going to church. I'm tired or whatever. Those are the things that cross my mind. I'm thinking, I need to go and soak myself in this atmosphere of. I mean, I've been going to work and from Monday to Saturday. I've been doing all these other things, but I need to consciously put myself in the atmosphere. Secondly, I'm actively serving, so I need to. I mean that everybody is expendable, but I'm honored. I don't take this lightly. I want to. It's something I want to do. So that criteria is or those criteria is something that I think establishes what church is, or finding the right fit. I would even encourage you to continue going to church if you don't feel like. Because even I was thinking my pastors the other day. Pastors, they sometimes they don't want to preach. Sometimes they don't want to be else.
Yeah.
But then they say to themselves that, you know what? Nah, first of all, I have a sense of duty. Secondly, by going to church, people. And there's people that see Sunday as a day of recharge for the week.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think church is very important, but the right reasons have to be taught.
Yeah.
People just have a misconception.
Because if you're just doing it out of routine sake,
it won't last.
You just like, if you're doing it out of routine sake, you're just doing it.
Yeah.
You're not really getting anything from it. Then you do it for so long, then you just realize that, okay, why am I here? You know, it's like you said, if you don't have a home church that makes you want to get up and go to church, then like, what are you doing?
And you need to find it.
Yeah.
You need to find it.
And it's crazy that you say that, because this is something I just thought about, especially being Nigerian and growing up. I feel like growing up
Nigerians have family church.
Yes. And it's like you may feel like you want to break away and find your own, but you don't want to disrespect anybody, because the church that your parents go to is the church that you've been going to since you are like, a wee child. But at the same time, it's just like you are now starting to get that feeling like, yo, this is like repetitive as fuck. Like I need to do something for me. But for like, and like, it's I would rather someone like say, okay, you get to a certain point in your life, like, okay, when you're 18 or whatever, when you're 18, you're in America, you're legal. If you're legal, that means that you should legally be able to say, okay, mommy and daddy, I think that it's time for me to spread my wings and find me my home church. But a lot of us are not going to do that.
A lot of us the option.
Yeah, a lot of us are not going to do that. A lot of us are going to just continue going to the church that our parents go to, because that's the church our parents go to.
I feel like even in the topic of this family church thing, whether I decide to stay or decide to leave, it should be me choosing to do that.
You should be choosing, like, exactly. Okay, it should be your choice.
I'm gonna go see other places. Choice, yeah. Because I just as a rounding up, I think that recently something that started ringing in my head, that lasting habits or whether it's a habit or it's love or anything, has to be founded on lasting standards. Routine is not lasting. You choosing to do something has to be founded on that. My reason for doing it is lasting, because that's what will keep whatever you're doing lasting. So I don't know, man.
Because, brother, if we just continue routine, I mean, shit, the next thing you know, you find yourself not even understanding what you're doing.
If anything, it makes me even feel sadder for them, because I'm like, if this is what you're teaching me, then that means whatever this is what you think, and then are you really doing? Are you really
Are you
having?
really thinking? Like, are you like, are you open? Like, is your heart open? And are you the Christian that you say you really are? Because, as
Mm,
a Christian, you're supposed to love thy neighbor. You're supposed to keep an open heart and, you know, accept people for who they are. But at the same time, you know, you're gonna feel some type of way because your child is like, okay, I'm ready to move on and do me.
mm,
But now you're being disrespectful because you won't move church, like. But you like, and it's just like that has to just be a decision made individually. That has to be an individual decision, and you just have to, like, you have to surround your people that you have to surround yourself with people who have an open heart to understand how you're feeling and understand that, like, you know you want to do what's best for you,
mm,
you know and I don't know, I think it just stems from, like, the fact that, some people just feel that, okay, I'm still a small boy, I'm still a small girl, I can't really, you know
yeah.
make these kind of decisions, or I'm not ready to make these kind of decisions yet, because I feel like because like I feel like, some people, I don't know, like, I was talking to a friend one time, and you know like, she was telling me that she felt that, like, accepting Christianity was a lot because there's so many responsibilities that you must adhere to, But at the same time, I mean, from I don't know, from my own experience in life, I was just like, look, you and kid, you know me, you know how I say shit, and it's like I was just like, at the end of the day, like, either you're gonna have this instant magical rapport that you have with God, or it's gonna take some time.
Mm.
And I mean, it's either one is okay. I mean, shit.
Either way, it's okay. Yes. Either way, it's okay.
Yeah, like, you still gonna get to the finish line.
Mm. Either way, it's okay.
So yeah, don't, like, don't sit here and stress yourself because you feel like, oh, you want to be Christian, but you also like alcohol. You want to be Christian, but you also like smoking weed. You want to
Mm,
be Christian, but you also like sex.
mm,
Like, you understand that life moves gradually,
mm.
changes occur gradually. So be consistent and try. Because at the end of the day, if you don't try, you don't know.
Mm.
That's it.
You know what? In this vein, there was something you said to me one time past that makes it made a lot of sense to me. That shit
Mhm.
you said, I was just like, oof, oof, mm. And it's along the same lines of what you were just saying because
Mhm.
I was asking about you and Christina and you getting married and all that,
Mhm.
and you said to me that nobody is ever ready to get
At
married,
all.
and I was just like, at the same time, nobody's ever ready to be a Christian because if one was stepping into marriage and thinking and was presented with the responsibilities and the hassles and the
Mhm.
downs and the ups of marriage, then that is not a healthy way to look at entering marriage in the first place. Because what you were saying to me was nobody's ever ready, but one thing you know is that this person is good, and then we're gonna do it and we're gonna figure this shit out. And it's almost like the same thing. I'm like, you realize that
Yeah.
God is the way for me to go. It's good for me. I'm gonna enter it and we're gonna figure this shit out. Uh,
Exactly.
yeah.
You know, you're gonna have bumps along the road. I mean, shit. Unless, like I said, unless you have that magical instant connection with God and God is speaking to you and you guys are just talking. I mean, shit. Most people like
even people that have that, nah. Even people that have that, except it takes some constant maintenance or it takes some constant, no, the right education. Because even with things like marriage, what would make you, yeah, even they can never be ready, what will make you more equipped is that you're at least implanted with the right information, with the right knowledge that marriage of what marriage really is. So even people that have this um, spiritual or divine first encounter, I've seen a lot of that fizzle out because they aren't taught properly or they aren't given the right information. So whether it's that divine encounter or you just convinced that this is the guy, you make that first step, it's still the same thing. You need that right. You need to surround yourself with that right. And which even goes back to me saying, if you go to church, just make sure the doctrine is sound because you need to be given the right information to make sure this is lasting and to make sure you navigate this shit. Even when we're talking about our kids, at the end of the day, is that we're giving our kids the right information and the right foundation to make sure that their lives or they're more that readier than we were, or they're as ready as can be for whatever life has ahead of them.
Because I mean, shit, I'll just be real with my child, you know, and be like, look, man, this life that you're getting ready to step into, this shit ain't easy, bro.
It ain't easy, bro. It's not.
Be like, look, this shit is not easy, dog. You know, but at the end of the day, like my philosophy, I think like my life philosophy is just you don't you don't know what you're capable of until you try.
Mm,
Like
true.
you don't know if you can sing until you try to sing.
True.
You don't know if you can play drums
Until
until
you
you try to
try.
play drums.
True.
And it's like, even if it's something that you tried and you're not good at, that's what practice is for.
Mm,
Same thing with marriage. Same thing with getting closer to God. Everything is practice. Everything. Because, like, you know, when people ask me, like, okay, I'm 26. When people ask me, okay, you're getting ready to get married, like,
we'll soon
you
be
know,
done.
like, are you nervous? Are you scared? Da, da, da. I'm like, honestly,
Yeah, we'll soon be 30.
I'm on.
Yeah,
Maybe cross that bridge once.
my
Once
sister
that's it cross.
my sister turned 25 yesterday. I was like, God damn, nigga.
No, bro, man, niggas are getting older. But no, you know. But damn, you know, okay. Honestly, okay. I remember what I wanted to say. I know we are trying to wrap up, but
Mm,
I have one thing. I have one thing I want to say. So, growing up, have you ever felt that like some individuals or okay, no, let me say it this way. Let me say it this way. So there was one time I went to a friend's church and they had a guest pastor and this guy was laying hands on people
mm,
and you know how they lay hands and the person just go fall out because of the Holy Ghost and everything like that. This pastor reached me, he tried to push my head though. And I was just this is where my rebellious shit comes in.
mm,
It's like I wasn't purposely like trying to not feel the Holy Ghost, but at the same time, I just felt like he was just doing way too much.
mm,
And it's like sometimes, like when I look back on that thing, and like the man was like really like, like it was kind of hurting the back of my neck right here, you know. And like I just didn't fall. And so it just kept going. And I was like, what was the point of all of that?
mm.
You know? Like, I don't know. Maybe you started. maybe you haven't.
Oh, definitely.
Because
Yeah, it happens to me too. It does happen to even Joshua was telling me that you know what, these are even paid to me. These are paid to me because, and it pains me all the time because when Joshua was telling me that, okay, that the one time I was like, you know what, let me even give this God, let me see what's up, you know what I'm saying? And it was like he went out and then his dad took him to him and I to some crusade and all stuff, and then he went out and was like, look, even if I feel some shame and this pastor his hands on me, then yeah, God is good. Which first of all, when he told me that shit, I was like, oh no, this story is going to end well with this. Going back to what we said before, this God thing is not going to be hinged on anybody. It's going to be at the end of it, it's going to be you and him.
Exactly.
But so when he said that, I was like, okay, yeah, I know where this story is going to end. He was talking about how the pastor was pushing him, and it's happened to me before. And the way I look at it is, first of all, there could be very fake pastors. That's the first thing. There could be very fake pastors that feel way too much. Secondly, I think of, I look at superheroes sometimes, I look at, if you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., have you watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. before?
I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah.
You love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Daisy, you know her power, how she can move shit.
And Quake.
I looked at her and I was like, why did she feel
if she was a pastor.
Niggas will be flying.
No, bro. I swear, if Quake was a pastor, she would just be in the name of Jesus, just be holding person like this in the
air. But yeah, I was looking at her, I was like, technically, she doesn't need to do this for shit to move. Technically. Yeah. But I was like, she does this because the way she sees it is that she's actively channeling something in her to move something. So it helped me give pastors some slack when they're like leaders, because they're also thinking in that same way that they're channeling something and imparting something. So they could be, I can understand how they could be doing that, applying that same pressure. So that also helped me understand some. I mean, so some pastors don't even touch you. Some people just do yeah. But it helped me understand. I remember just saying that, I was like, oh God, that's so sad. But I don't know. If anything, it just helps me pray for people and just be like, God, please just show yourself to them for He asked you. Because then at that point you can't deny it. When He shows you Himself as Him, you can't deny it. It's not by anybody.
Like the way that I know that God is real.
Tell me. Tell me.
A nigga is not even supposed to be alive right now. Like some of the shit that I've just done, bro. Like some of the shit that I've just done in the past. Like I shouldn't even be alive right now, bro. Like I should be somewhere. I just shouldn't be alive right now, like at all. You know? And it's like when I think about those past experiences and how, like, you know, how just things could have just turned out just so bad. Like so many near misses. So many things that could have put me in jail. So many things that like could have taken my life. So many things that could have just gone fucking wrong, bro. But it didn't. Why didn't it? Because God is looking after a person. Let me chew my mouth small. God is looking after a person, you know.
Yeah, you know, that's something I learned from the live I did with Victor and Joshua and Tundu and Ekram and all of them. After that live, I learned during that live and after, I learned so much. And one of the things I learned is And I actually said at the end, because Victor said something that one thing you can't take from anybody is what they've experienced and they know is real.
Yeah.
And after the whole conversation we had that night, and we were going back and forth, and Joshua was saying his piece, and Tony was saying a piece, everyone was saying a piece, I said my piece sometimes, Victor talk. But it just dawned on me that, first of all, God doesn't need some intellectual conversation to prove himself.
At all.
Secondly, intellectual conversations are very hinged on your knowledge, what you know. Somebody that knows more than you will definitely upshow you.
They will blow you out the water.
And I was just like, and that life, I ended it by saying, look, but when it comes to me actually telling everybody about the joke, I'm not saying science or anything. To me, science might just be God showing himself in certain ways regarding our perception. But at the end of the day, I have seen you. I know. When you know something, nobody can take it from you. The same way nobody can take your experience from you, nobody can take it from you. When you know, you know.
Nobody can tell you that you are wrong.
You know.
Like when it comes, like I honestly and wholeheartedly believe that when it comes to the notion of God and whether he exists or not, at the end of the day, yeah, like you can't really tell me that God doesn't exist, because again, the shit that I've gone through in life, I shouldn't be here. Like, yeah. So it's kind of just like, for somebody to feel like, God may not exist, and that's fine, and that's just because they just haven't experienced that. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier of allowing people to run their race. Because if you don't let somebody run their race,
it's out of your hands sometimes. Just like,
yeah. If you don't let somebody run their race and figure it out on their own, how will they know that God exists? Or how, like, because bro, the whole topic of excuse me, the whole topic of like, whether God exists and like, all of that, it's personal.
It is. That's what it is.
It's not something you can really equate.
That's what it is.
It's just some personal shit, man. Because
that's what it is.
Like I think about it, if someone were to understand some of the things that I've done and some of the things that I've been through, I feel like them two would be like, yo, God exists too.
Well, but you understand because I know you. It takes them to understand.
Exactly. And that's exactly why. That's exactly why. Gotta let people run their race. Got to. Just gotta let people run their race, bro.
My guy, I enjoy this shit, man. I can't even lie to you. The fact that because it's not the first conversation we're ever having, but the fact that this one was recorded alive is there.
I know, right? It's there. We're making history.
I enjoy this shit.
Yeah.
And I feel like conversations like this are very necessary because not only do we encourage each other, but then these that can make my children say, "No, they want to go to Gliosis," and I can say, "Go," and I'll have rest of mind. That at least they're there and they're not being involved. They're in good hands at least.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I mean, bro, like, bro, I know we have to end this thing, but the things just keep flowing. And we talked about this shit. We talked about this shit the other day. I was just like, yo, so do we have a topic that we're gonna be talking about? And he's like, man, when we get together, man, it's just it is what it is. It is what it is, man. I like this teacup, Sha. You brought it into play a couple of times. What's in the drink there?
Some wine, man.
Making sense, man. Making sense, man. But yeah, it's about the relationships and I don't know. I can't equate it into words. You know, it's like you just said now, for you to bear offsprings and feel that they should just be able to come to my house at any willing time and just be like, yeah, daddy, we are going to Uncle Ayo's house, or daddy, can we go to Uncle Ayo's house this weekend? Or vice versa, daddy, can we go to Uncle K's house? Why not? Who's stopping you?
I won't be
But
thinking
that's because we have that understanding between each other, that I know how you feel, and I know who you are, and I know where your heart is, and I know where your head is. That okay, bye bye. Okay, they're coming, so I see you. You know,
man. Yeah. Any last words? Any last words?
well, to the people out there, that's been listening to this conversation, we started off with aliens. We got on the topic of time travel.
Yeah, we've got a couple places, man.
But we brought it back full circle with God, But no, on some real shit though, like seriously, I just, for the people who eventually like watch this, I just want to say that at the end of the day, you know, find that rapport with God within yourself. Don't sit there and try to, appease people and, do what everybody else is doing because everybody else is doing it. Like, really look within yourself and try to understand yourself and understand what it, like, under, like, try to understand what it means to have a rapport with God. Like, just try. That's it. Just try. That's all you can do. If it don't work now, it might work later. You never know. That's it.
Yeah, feeling good. Man. Yeah, I appreciate you for coming on. I appreciate you for
yes, brother.
Just to spend time with me to just, even though it came was understandable.
Sometimes you just gotta have a good gist, man. You just gotta have a good gist, bro. You got to.
All right, my guy. Go see now. Thanks for coming. Bro.
All right, brother. Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure. Yes, I appreciate you, bro. I love you, brother. I can't wait to see you next time. So let's get it popping. Let's get this money. Yeah, and let's live this life.
Absolutely. All right, my guy. We'll see now.
All right, brother. Peace, man.
Peace.